Tell your story.
Change the conversation.
Organized by students.
TEDxYouth at SHC.
Imagine it's Saturday night and you're watching TV. The commercials come to an end and you see a familiar scene open up. Inside an odd-looking shack, two brown-haired siblings are sleeping in their room with a pet pig cuddled up next to the sister. Meanwhile, an old man in a fez hat steps up to what seems to be a portal emitting a bright light. His first line is, 30 long years, and it's all led up to this. And you start screaming in excitement, and your parents give you this slightly concerned look, but nevertheless you continue to squeal and wait for the episode to unfold. You've just put yourself in my own shoes as I watched one episode of Gravity Falls. Gravity Falls may sound familiar. This series follows twins Mabel and Dipper, and they spend their summer in Gravity Falls, Oregon. Along with friends, they dive deep into the mysteries of the small town. So it sounds a lot like a typical cartoon aimed at kids who would love to see these goofy characters in action. And the series did not fail to amaze me. From all of this, you can infer that, yeah, I'm a huge cartoon fan. So, what are cartoons? You're thinking of Mickey Mouse. Maybe you're thinking of SpongeBob SquarePants. But when I think about cartoons, I think about the different worlds they have, from the depths of the seas to alternate dimensions. I think about the different stories they have, from stories about families and their wacky lives to swashbuckling tales. I think about a cast of memorable and relatable characters, from intergalactic heroes to intelligent speaking animals. I think about the powerful life lessons they have, from that simple sharing is caring rule to how to forgive those who hurt us. Overall, I think about how cartoons distracted us from the real world, which was creeping up on our backs and telling us, hey, eventually you're gonna have to move on and grow up. As people grow up, they tend to let go of childish things like cartoons, and they're left in the dust as merely memories. They don't think it fits into their growing up agendas. But for me, cartoons do have a place in our growing up agendas. They're more than just animations on a screen. They provide a key to the locked door of childhood and nostalgic memories. They provide a sense of awe and wonder and powerful life lessons. And they can even change our lives. In middle school, I began to face the harsh reality of people growing up way too fast. I saw people losing interest in childish things like board games, certain types of clothing, and cartoons. In the 8th grade, when my best friend and I dressed up as Mabel and Dipper for Halloween, many had questioned me what my costume was. I proudly said I was Mabel from Gravity Falls, but they just gave me this disapproving look and went, all right then, cool, I guess. I had thought of saying something like, yeah, well, your costume sucks, but I didn't say anything. Fast forward to high school, students are taught to be more independent. They're taught to be more grown up, even if they do have support from teachers and guardians. So for me, everything and everyone was moving way too fast. I began to overwork and overthink and tell myself I had to get straight A's to get into a good college, to get a good job. I found it hard to accept I was well on my way to becoming a young adult. So I fell into a spiral of poisonous thoughts. But there were cartoons. Whenever I tried to relax after a long day, I had the TV on to watch something, anything. And there were so many amazing cartoons, but One of my personal favorites is Steven Universe. This series follows Steven and the Crystal Gems, who are a group of magical beings that are essentially the guardians of the universe. And just like Gravity Falls, it was for kids. But this series taught me not only about love for others, no matter their background, but self-love and acceptance. Throughout the series, Steven is constantly fighting and saving the day, but he never takes time to think about himself because he's so concerned about other people's well-being. But in the end, he learns that it's important to take care of himself and accept the way he is. That was the missing component for me. All this time, I was thinking about what my parents wanted. I was thinking about what everyone else was doing as they were growing up, and I felt pressured to do the same because I was growing up too. I was constantly comparing myself, and I never just took time and told myself I was doing enough and I was my own person. I didn't have to follow anyone else's paths because I could create my own path. And I wasn't alone in all of that. I had people to talk to, I had people to relate to, and heck, I even had fictional people to relate to. Even if these cartoon characters were fictional, I still found comfort in them. And because they're fictional, they're not only accessible to me, but to everyone, no matter what their background is. They aren't supposed to be these distant characters just on a screen, people we can't feel something for. They're these close friends, these role models that we can look up to with their admirable qualities. So you could be short but relate to Garnet, who's a tall crystal gem and knows how to take care of her loved ones. You could be a girl but relate to Aang, who's an optimistic boy and only wants the best for the world. You could be a 20-year-old in college but relate to Mabel, who's a 12-year-old and embraces her silliness and doesn't care about what others think. Finding I had people to relate to and turn to really changed my world because I felt like I really mattered and I wasn't going to be left behind while everyone else was moving on in the world. Cartoons reminded me that it's okay to be open and you shouldn't bottle up your feelings. So I did that with my family and people at school who I wanted to be friends with. And eventually, I gained 2 other close best friends who make me think that friendships can really last a lifetime and beyond that. The 3 of us, we absolutely love cartoons. One of our personal favorites is Infinity Train, and in this series, the main characters, which change every season, are faced with personal problems, and they're brought to a train that goes on for infinity, hence the name of the series. This train's purpose is to help characters come to a solution with their problems. And this beautifully written series taught me how to cope with loss and how to find comfort in others when you feel like you're alone. But most importantly, you are your own person, and nobody can change that. So there it was again, that really prominent motif that I find in so many cartoons, no matter what the series is. In an episode, these characters are going on adventures when the episode poses them a problem, and they come to a solution in the end, whether it's good or bad. But during the episode, they realize that they can just be themselves, and they don't have to listen to what others have to say about them. So they have the ability to save the day in their own way. Just like them, people have the ability to do things their own unique way. Cartoons remind us that we can just be ourselves, and we don't have to grow up so fast just because the world expects us to do so. Everyone still has the ability to hold on to childhood memories, and they should hold on to them. So we take pride in everything we do, knowing that we're strong and that we're our own person. Because nobody has to be so serious or mature about their job or work all the time. It's definitely okay to goof around, and that brings happiness and laughter into the world, which the world could 100% use those kinds of things right now, especially during this global pandemic. So think about it. Why are these cartoons so special and impactful? Now you really know the answer to that question, and I invite you to keep that answer in mind as you continue to grow up in this world. After all, cartoons are there to comfort, nurture, and guide us in this rapidly changing world. So, tune in to cartoons. Thank you.